For decades, we've basically all been told the exact same thing. If you want a healthy heart, you've got to hit the pavement. Run, bike, walk, sweat it out until you can barely breathe. But what if I told you the secret to profoundly transforming your cardiovascular health, and your mental resilience, by the way, doesn't require moving your joints at all? In today's Explainer, we're diving deep into the silent strength revolution. We're going to explore how static holds can fundamentally revolutionize both your body and your mind, proving that sometimes true strength isn't actually about motion at all. It's about stillness.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is a roadmap for the Explainer. We'll kick things off with 1, the secret of stillness, then 2, the science of static tension, and 3, mental calm and resilience. After that, we transition to a practical guide with 4, the 10-minute beginner routine, and finally, your weekly plan. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the secret of stillness. As I said, we're deeply conditioned to think cardio is the only path to a healthy heart, but we need to rethink that completely. Seriously, ask yourself, what if a healthier heart requires literally no movement at all? It sounds completely counterintuitive, right? I mean, we always associate heart health with a pounding chest and being out of breath, but this paradigm-shifting question is actually at the very center of a major breakthrough in cardiovascular wellness.
Think about the 2 approaches. Traditional cardio, it involves moving joints, high impact on your knees and ankles, and honestly, a lot of bodily wear and tear. On the flip side, we have isometric holds. These rely purely on time and tension, just total static stillness. And here's the game changer. For patients managing high blood pressure, the physical chaos of high-intensity cardio can actually be jarring, sometimes even counterproductive. Isometric holds give us a far safer alternative that directly targets what the cardiovascular system really needs.
Section 2, science of static tension. Let's break down the actual physical science that validates why this stillness is essentially the ultimate blood pressure remedy.
So what exactly are we talking about here? Isometric exercise simply refers to movements where a specific position is held for a sustained duration. You're engaging your muscular endurance against resistance strictly through time and tension, entirely without moving your joints. If you're a beginner, this is absolutely crucial to grasp. We are talking about static tension, not physical motion. Your muscles are working incredibly hard, but externally, you are completely still.
And the physical results of this stillness? They are staggering. 10 to 15%. A recent breakthrough meta-analysis showed that isometric exercises are literally the most effective way to lower blood pressure, even beating out traditional cardio. With consistent practice, you can see a stunning 10 to 15% reduction in blood pressure. Why? Because this static tension trains your heart to pump efficiently without all that overwhelming stress of high-impact jumping and running.
This method just sets off a brilliant cascade of physical benefits. It trains the cardiovascular system efficiently, and perhaps most importantly, it improves your arterial flexibility. When your muscles hold that static tension, it literally forces your arteries to adapt and become more flexible. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why blood pressure drops so effectively. Plus, it's vastly safer than high-intensity cardio because there's zero joint impact, and it totally avoids those dangerous spikes in cortisol, the stress hormone that those completely exhausting workouts can trigger.
Section 3, mental calm and resilience. Because as incredible as these physical benefits are, this goes way beyond the physical heart. When you settle into an isometric hold, you aren't just flexing muscles. You are heavily activating your parasympathetic nervous system. That is your body's rest and digest relaxation response. Traditional high-intensity cardio often throws you into a sympathetic state, which is fight or flight. But isometric holds, they naturally trigger your calming system. It is such a rare, beautiful combination. You're actively calming your nervous system while simultaneously building real physical strength.
And the mental health victories here are massive. These holds release dopamine, your motivation chemical, and serotonin, your happiness chemical. Because you literally have to focus so intently on your form and your breathing, it completely stops your mind from wandering and worrying. Best of all, every single time you hold tough, like staying in a plank for 45 seconds when you desperately wanted to quit at 30, you are fundamentally rewiring your relationship with discomfort. You're proving to yourself that you can handle hard things. That builds long-term emotional resilience that you carry into everyday life challenges.
To take this mind-body connection even further, check out this fascinating concept called niche bending. This involves lateral flexion, meaning you reach sideways, like bringing your arm overhead and leaning hard to the side, and you hold that position isometrically. Why do this? Because it releases lateral tension and emotional blocks stored deep in rigid muscles. You aren't just stretching, you are actively wringing out stored emotional stress like a sponge. It is basically meditation with physical resistance.
Section 4. The 10-minute beginner routine. Let's energetically shift from theory to practice and look at a highly accessible 10-minute session you can do literally right now in your living room.
Okay, pause. Before we go any further, I need to give you a massive warning. Breathe steadily. Never ever hold your breath. This is non-negotiable. If you hold your breath and bear down during a static hold, it can cause dangerous spikes in your blood pressure. The absolute key to making this safe and effective is smooth, rhythmic, controlled inhales and exhales. The oxygen has to keep flowing.
Here's how simple the structure is. Step 1. A quick 2 to 3 minute warm-up using gentle, dynamic movements like arm circles just to wake the body up. Step 2 is your 5 to 6 minute main session, where the actual holds happen. And Step 3 is the cool down and recovery. It's a purposefully designed sequence that safely transitions your nervous system from the chaos of your busy day right into a state of profound calm.
Now, what's really interesting here is how straightforward these 4 beginner exercises are. First, a plank hold for 30 to 45 seconds. This builds the core and that mental fortitude we just talked about. Next, a wall sit for 30 to 45 seconds. Oh, it burns the legs for sure, but it beautifully stabilizes the nervous system. Then, the bridge position for 30 to 45 seconds to anchor that body-mind connection. Finally, an isometric wall press for 20 to 30 seconds to calmly activate the upper body. Remember, the mental toughness you build holding these positions is just as important as the physical effort.
Once you finish the holds, you enter the recovery phase. Let's just drop our pacing for a second, take a breath, and appreciate this part. This cool down is where you truly rewire the nervous system. You start in happy baby pose, gently rocking to release tension and trauma that gets locked up in the hips. Then melt into child's pose, breathing deep to honor the work you just did. Finally, a forward fold. Just let your head hang incredibly heavy to dump out any lingering anxiety. This sequence sends a clear, powerful signal to your body that it is safe.
Section 5. Your weekly plan. Let's bring all of this together into a sustainable long-term protocol to maximize these cardiovascular and mental gains without burning you out.
Look how accessible this is. 0 equipment required. You do a full body session on Monday, an upper body focus on Wednesday, and a lower body emphasis on Friday. That's the whole shebang. 3 simple 10 to 15-minute sessions a week. It's a completely manageable routine, but it has the power to totally transform your wellness.
Let's move ahead and see how this builds over time. After just 4 weeks, you'll likely see a real, noticeable drop in your blood pressure. At 8 weeks, you're going to feel mentally sharper, much calmer, and way more resilient to your daily stress. And at 3 months, we are talking about a complete wellness transformation. And the best part is, you have the power to start this journey today. You don't have to wait for some magical Monday.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one really powerful question to chew on. What is one area of your life where you want to bring more strength and calm? You don't need to run a marathon to save your heart. You just need a little bit of stillness, steady breathing, and the simple commitment to show up for yourself. So think about that. Take a deep breath and start building your unshakable mind today. Keep building, keep breathing, and stay strong.